Next match of the day is going to be Blazing Magi versus Rush Hour. I started this one earlier, but I didn't end up finishing it. I just kind of went to bed. So instead, we're just going to start from scratch. Don't want to do the VOD. It's going to be 3-0, more than likely. Rush Hour is probably just going to dominate Blazing Magi. And plus, this match doesn't have any implications. Rush Hour is already locked in for the number 1 seed, so it doesn't even matter what happens here today. Except for maybe playoff not playoff positioning, but what's the word? Seeding. Or not seeding. Seeding doesn't matter. Only thing that matters here is for draft selection. So if Blazing Magi somehow win this, they will actually give themselves a worse draft position. That's the only thing on the line for them. So if anything, they want to lose regardless. So a top team going up against a bottom team is a usual phenomenon in Overbots. So we are about to see what Rush Hour have in store. How quickly can they take this dub? Or if maybe Blazing Magi can put up some sort of fight here. Alright, Winston and Ryan going to be meeting in the middle. Here comes the pin. It's not going to find anything. Winston getting a bit shredded here. Does take out the Winston and the Soj. And here comes the pin. It is going to pick up that Symmetra. And that is an easy team fight victory here for Rush Hour. They do almost lose the Ryan, but they're able to maintain him and start this push off. Great for Rush Hour. Kind of what we expect here from this matchup. I'm expecting a dominant 3-0 from Rush Hour to end off their season before we playoffs here. Gonna have 7 map series going into playoffs. Gonna try to do them. Maybe I'll try to do them on like Friday or so. We'll see. So I might be able to find one, but that's just not going to be enough. Rush Hour putting a pretty dominant performance up. They're going to find 2. Winston, the last thing left, and he's not going to win this on his own. That will be a pretty easy team fight victory here for Rush Hour as they continue pushing this payload. Should be an easy and dominant 3-0 coming through for Rush Hour. Blazing Magi have just been at the bottom of the barrel. Been very excited watching my team beat bottom teams, but I'm not going to delude myself too much. Chances of winning against these top squads are minimal. Going to rely on a lot of luck if we want anything to happen. I'm going to pin himself off the map. But not going to matter too much here, as the rest of Rush Hour are cleaning up house. What's up?
What do you do with these when you did like a heritage?
Oh.
I put it in.
I just keep them, but I think you're. I don't actually think you are supposed to keep them.
Where do you keep them?
I would have kept them up there or something. But anyways, Rush Hour's coming back into this one. I don't know. Probably not, but like, it's nice to have. I think. I don't know. Unless they got thrown away. Don't have like a violin cabinet, so I'm not very organized about that. Anyways. Rush Hour just sustaining this damage. However, Blazing Magi are going to push through eventually. Sojourn gets some work done. Here comes the Ryan. He's going to get on the Sigma. Probably going to pick him off. He does, however, he's all alone here on this point, so he will eventually go down. Blazing Magi are going to get a little bit progress started, but I down. I think it's just too little too late. They're already very far behind in this one. Sigma somehow is old. That's surprising. The Magi are pushing forward. Maybe I gotta check on the heroes and see why Zarya doesn't use that ult. I'm not too sure. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about that right now. Actually a pretty big Sigma flux coming out. That is going to result in a Blazing Magi victory, so this is kind of surprising. Blazing Magi are pushing. Sim and Sojourn are putting in quite a bit of work here. So they are going to reach this checkpoint. Don't know if it's too little too late here, though. 5 minutes on the clock. They do have time, but I think just one team fight needs to go the way of Rush Hour. And they'll be right back into this one. Okay, yep. So this is where the team fight will probably go the favor of Rush Hour. Soldier on that point. Here comes Rush Hour. 4 minutes on the clock. See if they can finish this off. Sojourn actually going to find a soldier on the side. However, she's going to get traded out from the Rhyme pin. Those mines are going to go down fairly quickly here. However, Bap just kind of standing still. Monkey's actually putting in some work here, but he will eventually fall to the hammer swings of this Rhine. Somehow, some way, though. Blazing Magi does come out on top. There is only 2 of them left. Let's see if Rhine can get some sort of... What is going on here? Can I just check? Let me just show the lobby real quick. They are on aim, but I'm just really confused by what they're doing at the moment. I'm used to Rush Hour kind of just dominating teams, but here... They're kind of getting confused, I guess? Maybe something to do with his map geometry is helping out my squad a little bit. Kind of just expected this to be a 3-0, and it's looking a little bit closer than anticipated on this Coliseum. Which is okay, I suppose, but we're still not going to win, so. Just not as close as I expected. Especially from the, when I started running this the other night. It looked a lot more dominant. So I think it will continue the dominance for Rush Hour. Just being a little bit confusing on this first map. They are going to push up past that checkpoint. Here we go. Blazing Magi are going to have to spread out for this Riptire. However, it's coming in, and it's coming in hot. It's going to find the Winston. And this is just going to do it. Rush Hour is probably just going to finish this map off. They do boop away the Sim. However, she does find a pick. It's very low, though. Soldier's going to take her out. And a trade will happen. However, in favor of Rush Hour, it's going to result in a full map completion here. More than likely. We'll see, actually. Yeah, it will probably most likely. Yes, it will. Okay. So, full map completion here for Rush Hour, as we expected this team to take over this matchup. So far, so good for them. They only need to secure 2 more maps to win their final game of the regular season, solidifying themselves as that #1 seed, even though they're already solidified. Let's be quite honest here. They will be facing either multi-milkers or AI, depending on how the seeding shapes out there. I think it is going to shape out the same. I expect both those teams to 3-0 their opponents today. Going to Ilios should be a quick series with the maps we're getting. So an early Blazing Magi pick will actually lead to a point capture here for the side of Blazing Magi. Kind of unexpected. 2 tanks doing their job here. Just dying for the team. Trying to give themselves a chance in this matchup against Rush Hour, but just such a powerful team. Ryan kind of come in here. He's a little bit alone. He's going to pin himself into the hole, and that's not what you want to see if you are Rush Hour. Blazing Magi giving themselves a chance at this one, especially with that Ryan making a kind of a no-brain decision there. Going to lead to a Blazing Magi fight win for the second time here. Sim and Sojourn just putting in the work that they need to. This is becoming suddenly very winnable on a map for Blazing Magi. Like I said, this match doesn't really mean anything, so even if I do somehow upset them, it is just going to be the end of our season. It'd be very strange to witness, too, as this is one of the best teams going into the tournament play. Ryan's going to get that pin on Soj, going to finish her off. Okay, so that is more like what we expect to see from Rush Hour. They do come in, take this point away. Ryan putting in some solid work. Not putting himself into the hole this time. They're going to get that progress started, and they're more than likely going to flip the script on Blazing Magi here. Kind of what I expect them to go 100-0 on the retake. However, a very good start on this Ilios by Blazing Magi, giving themselves a little bit of hope. So, the score pretty much identical to what I ended on. It was 1-0 with a Rush Hour lead, so it feels completely fair that we're continuing back off, basically where we left off. But I just want to make sure we get all the VOD in. Blazing Magi about to maybe choke away this point. Could very well see that happening. A lot of ults coming online here for Rush Hour. Comes that Rhine pin. Gonna bring that Winston very low. Probably gonna die soon, and he goes full. Sojourn able to pick off the tire, but it's not gonna matter too much. Soldier just putting in the work. Gonna result in a 100-64 flip here on the side of Rush Hour. Soldier solidifying himself as one of those high-tier overbought DPS. Winston probably going to die. Getting very low on the outside. However, he does back off a little bit. Gives himself some life. Big slam coming through. Sigma actually manages to live, but it's not going to matter too much as Soldier is cleaning up. And of course, since they pop the shatter and the window and the visor, they are going to clean that one up. So they completely reverse the fate on Blazing Magi and win it 100-64, as I kind of anticipated after they won that fight. Oops, going underneath the point here. Alright, alright, alright. Soldier gonna find the Sigma. However, Soldier on the other side finding 2. Sim gonna find that Soldier at the end, and there's only Ryan left on this point. He's gonna take the Sim for long right off a short pier, but He does take himself off as well, which means Lazy Magi will secure the first point again. So first capture going to Lazy Magi again after the wacky first fight. Does mean they will have a chance in this map, but as we see, once Rush Hour really get control, it's kind of over for this Blazy Magi squad. Alright, got a pin in here. Does hit that wall, so not going to be finding any picks. Sojourn going to find the BAP on the outside. Sojourn also looking to find that Rhine. She does. Putting in some clean work from the Sim Sojourn setup. Alright, Rush Hour looking for another engagement here. See if they can reverse their fate again here. Last time they did win this percentage of fights, so let's see if they can repeat history here against Blazy Magi a little bit on this point. So they come in. Sim's going to find the map though. Some trades favoring either team. However, Ryan is going to take himself out, so it's just Soj versus Rat on the point here. 1v1 is going to favor that Rat, as he does just take out the Sojourn. So, once again, giving themselves an opportunity to fully flip this point around on Blazy Magi. See if they can secure the dub. However, this time around, Sojourn's going to be working up till that ult. Maybe she can get some serious value with that. We'll have to see, though. Would be kind of nice to see a little bit of a fight coming in from Blazy Magi. Back getting pretty low. He will eventually fall. Soldier's going to get low as well. However, trades do favor Rush Hour. Comes the Riptire a little bit early here. He's probably not going to find anything, to be honest. To wait and find out if it can go far enough to get a kill. Gets a little bit stuck. Going to go back in. Yeah, it will just explode with no value. Tends to happen to the Junkrat. Bap does make his way back to his squad. 60% on the board, almost here for... Oh, Ryan almost gets himself off the map. Sim shield here might do enough. No, not quite. Sim is going to fall. That is going to result in another team fight victory here for Rush Hour, and more than likely they are just going to flip the script on Blazy Magi. Once again, same exact story as that first map. Blazy Magi winning the first 2 or 3 fights and then proceeding to lose every preceding fight. Very desperate squad. They do make matches somewhat close, but they just never can seem to get over the hump of victory against these better teams. It seems like. See, Winston is going to come in here. Ryan's going to miss that pin, which could be something. Winston is going to die though, and that's a big shatter by the Ryan. Going to result in a team fight victory here for Rush Hour, and a point victory, and a map victory. So it'll be 2-0. Rush Hour heading into that final map. I'm hoping for something quick, so I don't have to sit through an escort. I might even swap the map again if it is an escort or a hybrid, just to get this 3 over. This 3 over. I cracked myself up. Okay. The definition of insanity. It's watching the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I'm not really expecting a different result at this point, though. I kind of just expect Rush Hour to 3-0. It's just... here we go. It is a quick map. So the series should be done and dusted with pretty quickly. Hopefully Rush Hour can just full cap out here. And we don't have to go to another map after this one. Remains to be seen, though. Hoping for no powerhouse teams next season. I do not. Definitely don't want to see things like Bastion and oh my word, what am I trying to say? Bastion and Torb on the same team. I wouldn't want to see Mauga and Torb on the same team either, or Mauga and Bastion on the same team. There's just like so many different things that I just don't want to see on the same team. I don't know if we can prevent that all from happening though. I would like to see a lot of the S tiers, going specifically to like one team, so each team only has like one S tier. But I feel like there's enough really good picks that it's almost guaranteed that someone will have two really good picks on their team. I don't know if you can really consider Mauga an S tier after what he's shown this season. He has kind of gotten throttled by absolutely everyone. But maybe he is. He's just been on a bad team with a Mercy throughout the entire season. Okay, Soldier getting in very low. He is going to pick off that Winston, though. And Sim will step in the point or on the trap. So this means Rush Hour is going to win this first team fight. And more than likely the point. There's probably going to be a little recontest here, but I can't see it getting very far. Sim gonna get, or Sigma gonna get pushed off the point. That will result in a win here for that Rhine squad. Rhine's gonna push in onto this Winston, gonna get the pin, going very deep for this. Will the Rhine get punished? He does. So Winston gonna fall, but they do pick off that Rhine. Maybe giving themselves an opportunity to come back in here and make this fight happen, but probably not actually, because they only have Sigma and Soj and they're still in spawn. So, yep, this is going to be Rush Hour's point, and they're going to be heading for that last point. I'm hoping they kind of just dominate on this last point, and then this series will be over. But normally, you're able to flip it, no matter how bad your team is, right here. So we'll see. We'll see. We have seen it before, so it's highly possible Rush Hour can do this. I believe in them. I do kind of want the series to end, even though this is my team. It's not a great season for us overall. And Sigma will be the last to fall. And I think that could just be it. So if they, for every tick they get, they will get a full point. So that gives them one. They might just win it right here, though. That gives them two. The re-engage is coming, but the Shatter's here. They could just win this right here, right now. And they do get a first pick on that Winston. So it will be a full take for Rush Hour, and thus a 3-0. One of the quickest matches I think we've seen in Overbots, which is very nice for me. Alright, we're going to be going to another stomp after this one, so just a lot of stomps on the docket today. See you in the next VOD.